I'm just going to come on camera here real quick. Just say hello. Hi, everyone. My name is
Hello.
Josiah. And yeah, thank you, Rob, for the introduction. Tom, for just Clearfly, for giving us this opportunity. We're really excited about it. And we hope that what we have to present today gets you excited as well. And again, my name is Josiah Thibodeau. I'm the partner enablement manager here at GranSun, and then Bodie Engel is the owner and founder of GranSun. And so we will have a Q&A once we get towards the end of the presentation. So we just ask that you please hold those questions till we get there. Write them down. If you have a steel trap for a mind, just store it somewhere in those subconscious folds. And then once we get to that Q&A, feel free to ask whatever it is that you need to ask. And we really want to just kind of, I guess really what we're doing isn't just a presentation or a product overview. It's more of a conversation and a shared experience. And so we're going to go through a little bit of where we come from, who we are, why we're in this position in the first place, just to help give you an idea of, that we've kind of experienced some of the same struggles that you have. So we're going to jump into that. I'm going to stop sharing the video now and start sharing my screen instead, and we'll get this kind of kicked off and going. So let me, first of all, make sure that everybody can see that. Is everybody able to see my screen there?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. And sorry, I'm trying to now move this Zoom thing out of the way so I can actually see what I'm doing here. All righty. So yeah, like I mentioned, this isn't just about being a product overview. It's understanding the pain that you've lived through with the legacy modern systems, just showing you how GranSun is engineered not just as a better platform, but really to be a better partnership as well. So our goal here is to empower you, to empower your clients. We want to offer you true choice, uncompromising quality, a support structure that's actually going to work for you. And so, with all of that being said, we're just going to go ahead and dive in. And first of all, we want you to know that we've been there. Okay. So we have been there. We know what it's like to be in your shoes because we were in your shoes. Before GranSun, we sold, all the products or supported or sold all the products that you see here on the screen. And we've dealt with, rigid vendor contracts, unreliable systems, support teams, they seem to vanish the moment that you need them. You can't get in touch with anybody. So we've gone through that. We've dealt with proprietary lock-in, lack of flexibility for clients. We've faced a lot of these same headaches that you have. And frankly, we just got tired of trying to duct tape solutions together, tired of watching revenue walk out the door because the different platforms that we were using weren't necessarily built for their real world needs. So we've spent the last 30 years living through a lot of these same pain points that you're dealing with now. And that's really what drove us to build GranSun. Now, you probably are aware of or know the story that I'm about to tell. Chances are that you have lived some version of this yourself as well. But as we navigated through the telephony landscape, working with vendor after vendor, we started to just kind of see the same issues playing out over and over again. So for instance, we'll just call them Company A. They had a solid technology. Okay, there's no argument about that. The technology is great. They were innovators in the VoIP space, but it came with strings attached. It had a lockdown ecosystem. I mean, essentially just proprietary everything, right? And so every attempt to try to adapt or scale meant we were dealing with compromise on some level or another. And the moment somebody needed flexibility, they'd hit a wall of restrictions. The phones would work, but you had to play by that company's rules. You had to stay within their ecosystem. From there, we ended up transitioning to who we will call Company Z. They came, just kind of waving a flag of openness. And at first, it felt like a breath of fresh air. It felt like, yes, this is what we've been looking for. But as we started to work with them to get involved in their ecosystem, we just started, cracks started to show in different areas. And the promises that they made, they weren't holding up. Business practices started to raise eyebrows. The feeling of partnership that we were looking for wasn't really there. It never really showed up. And so it just kind of left us with a bad taste in our mouth. Eventually, we end up moving to who we will call Company W, and they brought a new kind of pitch. It was one of compatibility, choice, flexibility. It was honestly, everything that we were looking for, and it was really something that we were excited about. But in the real world, the quality just wasn't there for us. The devices didn't perform the way that we felt they should. They felt a little cheap. Support fell short. And the platform just didn't really deliver on what we were sold. And after a while of going through all of this, we started to see a pattern emerge. And the pattern's just kind of impossible to ignore. You're either in a locked in ecosystem and it might have some great innovation to it, but you're just kind of stuck dealing with that one provider. You have partnerships that don't feel like a true partnership, or support that feels, it's more like deflection instead of true ownership. And so that's when we just kind of started to ask, is this really the best the industry has to offer? So it was all those moments of frustrations, compromises, the disconnect that we experienced that ended up pushing us to find a different path, and one that didn't just solve the problems but actually put control back into the hands of the people doing the work, which is us and you. And so because of all that, we built what we couldn't find. We didn't build GranSun as a workaround. We built it because it was the solution that we needed that didn't exist. And that's really why we're here. That's why we're on this call today. So this platform, as I mentioned, is really designed for people doing the real work. It's for the phone vendors of all sizes. It doesn't matter if you're a one-man shop, you only have a few employees, maybe you have 50 plus employees. That doesn't really matter. The system will work for you. It's also for any of the MSPs out there who might be doing, telephony, I can't say it right now, telephony alongside all the MSP contracts that you have. The system is designed for all the various teams responsible for making communications happen, whatever those teams may look like. So the company, the system, they're built on the principles we spent decades chasing. So there's no gimmicks with this. There's no forced hardware. There's no backdoor lock-ins. We wanted a system that worked with all the tools that today's customers have come to expect, your voice, your mobility, the SMS piece, your meetings, whatever it is, you name it, we've got it. As we navigated our way through these various phone vendors over the years, we've realized there were three things that were missing that we wished would have been there for us. And so this realization is what led us to create the three pillars of the GranSun platform. So the first is flexibility. We don't believe you should have to buy our hardware to use our service. So you can bring your own certified devices. You can use whatever's working. Bring your customers' existing equipment. If it's compatible, it's your call on how you want to do that. The second is reliability. So the system is designed to deliver consistent performance, the crystal clear audio, stability that doesn't buckle during peak loads, and then your third is openness. So GranSun does play very well with others. We support a vast catalog of phones and devices, and we are committed to that broad compatibility. And so what this means is that your existing investments stay valuable and your customers feel that difference on day one. So let's go ahead and quickly transition, and we're going to talk about what does this mean for you, right? So GranSun is easy to position because it eliminates your usual friction points. Do you need new phones? The answer is no, you don't. And we're going to talk about that here in a little bit. We'll get into that a little more in depth in just a few moments. Another question is, what if it's not reliable? And to that, we just say it is reliable. We've got a 99.99% uptime. It ensures call quality without issues as long as you have that stable internet connection. And then another question is, will you get margin? And we just say absolutely. The whole point of this is to try to provide a product that puts money back into your pockets. The overall goal with this is really to try to reduce as much lift on your end as possible. And by doing that, we speed up your deals, we simplify your deployments, we help you avoid, the post-sale churn that you might experience that starts to eat into your time, into your profits, into your reputation. So whether you are fielding those SMB calls, whether you're chasing those mid-market bids, you are starting to step into the conversation with some real advantages. All right. So you get to sell with confidence. You know that you have a system that works and that you ultimately won't be, cleaning up messes 6 months down the road. If you weren't already aware, and I know this information's, been going on for the past several years now, but if you have not heard this yet, I want to bring it to your awareness. There are 216 billion reasons to act now. So, um, this really is the time to jump on board because the UCaaS market is exploding. And I know most of you have probably heard this, but it is projected to triple, growing from 49 billion to 216 billion by 2032. So it's a compound annual growth rate of 18.2%. And really, that is a lot of money that's going to be on the table, and you don't want to miss out on that. So if you aren't taking advantage of the time that we're in right now, I guarantee you that somebody else is going to do that. The money is going to be going into their pockets. So you might as well jump on board, start putting some of that money into your pockets as well. Now, the interesting thing here is that SMBs are really driving this faster than anyone expected. So the question might be why? Why is that happening? And the answer is because they need flexibility. They need something that is affordable and they need more control over the systems. And the legacy platforms just cannot keep up with that demand. Now, there are several forces that are pushing adoption through the roof. I'm going to go through a few of those here. And the first one is hybrid work isn't going anywhere. So, a Gallup survey from May 2024 found that among the US employees with remote capable jobs, 53% were working in a hybrid environment, 27% were fully remote, only 21% were fully on site. And out of those, the 60% of these employees, they expressed a preference for hybrid work. There was about 1/3 who preferred fully remote, and then less than 10% favored the full-time on-site work. So that's number one. Number two is customers expect to use whatever devices they want, especially since they're not buying a phone system outright anymore. They don't want to have to purchase new hardware after a few years because they decide to switch phone systems when they should be able to repurpose their existing hardware. And then number three is the partner first ecosystems like GranSun, what we're doing here, are now the winning play. So we have watched Toshiba, ShoreTel, Panasonic, more recently NEC, among others. They've all exited the market for various reasons. And meanwhile, UCaaS adoption is just continuing to surge. It is driven by this shifting customer expectation and the need for these scalable and flexible delivery models. So it isn't just a growing market. It's really a once in a lifetime shift. And so GranSun is purpose built to help you capitalize on that. Now, I want to be honest here. I don't think it's that you're just looking for a better PBX. You want something that you can trust, something that you can sell with confidence and actually stand behind. And a lot of the
Tom,
from perspective, this is what GranSun is delivering from lock-in. This has
Josiah,
come up time already, but nobody wants to rip out working here. Yes.
you dropped, at least from my perspective, you guys can tell me, you dropped off for like, I don't know, 15
Yeah.
to 20
Minute.
seconds.
Oh,
Same.
did I? Okay.
Yeah.
So if you wouldn't mind, rewind that little bit.
Okay. So was it on this slide? You
It
still saw the
was.
slide?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, sir.
All right. Sorry about that. So what was the last thing I mentioned then?
You were just getting into the slide. I mean, you were about
Cor-
10 seconds into the slide.
Oh, okay. Okay. So just the idea that you're not just looking for a better PBX.
Correct.
Correct.
It's really more about something that you can trust, something you can sell with confidence that you can stand behind. And really, it's because you're tired of explaining away vendor limitations, dealing with systems that break promises. And so, from my perspective, what partners really want, what GranSun is delivering here is the freedom from lock-in. So, I think we're up to speed now. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, so I'll just cover the freedom from lock-in part again. As I said, nobody's wanting to rip out working gear because they just need to switch platforms. They're tired of it. They don't want to do it anymore, and that's what we are doing here with GranSun. Is we're letting customers use what they and we're able to support it. So then the second is reliability as the default and not the exception. So this isn't just a stitched together system. This has really been purpose built to perform 24/7 under pressure without compromises. Your customers will hear the difference, and as a result of that, your support teams should hear the difference as well. And then third is the simplicity and control. So onboarding with this is fast. Your management is very intuitive. There's no internal VoIP wizard that's required to make this system work. So from your setup to your support, this platform is putting control back where it belongs, and really that's in your hands. And then the fourth is support that doesn't vanish. We don't have any black hole ticketing systems. There's no offshore deflection. We are building our partner support model around response result. It's a thing that we're looking for throughout our journey. And really, this is Clearfly. We have received amazing support from them and their team. And this is something that we want to emulate with our support as well. And like I said, this is something that we've been looking for, and we want to make sure that you as partners have that same level of support that you've come to know and trust with Clearfly. The fifth and final one here is strong margins and smart scaling. So the pricing is designed with you in mind, and it leaves room for you to grow both profitably and sustainably. So the takeaway here is that partners are saying yes to GranSun because we deliver control, we deliver confidence, we deliver clarity in the products, in the experience, and in the relationship itself. Now, when you decide to move forward and adopt our product, I think you're going to see that the interface speaks for itself. But what matters most here is, I think it's really about how manageable the system really is. So you should be able to get up to speed quickly. The certification process ensures your teams are confident, they're capable when it's time to go live. From your user provisioning to device assignments, configuration, the layout here is designed for clarity and speed in mind. So you should find that the common tasks that you're dealing with are intuitive, your day-to-day management feels direct, and this just means simply that it's not buried under layers of unnecessary options. And because of that, the simplicity pays off. It means your deployments move faster, your admins make fewer mistakes, your support queues stay lighter, and managing the system doesn't require a telecom expert. You just need somebody who's trained, somebody who's capable, somebody focused on delivering the right outcome for your clients and your business. And the other thing is you can also give your customers admin access to manage day-to-day tasks, run the reports, view their dashboards, and they can have a little bit more control in the system as well, maybe if they need to switch out extensions or things like that. And for instance, we have a young guy who's working with us. He's been here 6 months or so, and he is provisioning systems. He's working support tickets. He was able to jump in and start helping manage some of these different things because the system is just that intuitive and easy to work with. When it comes to support, you can reach out to us directly, phone, email, whatever you need to do there. But we also have a knowledge base that we're continually building out. And this provides you answers that you need when you need them. So this is really a core part of how we support and enable our partners. And we are, like I said, continually building this out. We're going to be adding more and more to this as we continue to grow and develop. So every setup guide that's in here, your device configurations, your how-to articles, they are written with, again, that clarity and speed in mind, meaning that they're searchable, it's visual, the layouts that we try to use make it easy to read through. You've got those screenshots that you need. If you have questions about what we're actually talking about, the screenshots are there. So it's designed to remove as much friction as possible during your deployment and during your support so that you can handle those issues as quickly as needed. Now, for instance, let's say that you need to onboard a Yealink phone. That documentation is there. If you need to reference, supported codecs, update firmware, configure routing, you're going to be building out IVRs, all that information is there. It's ready for your team. You can also create a ticket right from the knowledge base if you can't find what you're looking for. So we've got that little button where you can create that ticket, and that just gives you easy available access to us. Most customers are not going to be coming to this knowledge base directly, but this would be the place that your techs would live. It's going to help ensure that there are fewer escalations that need to happen, faster resolutions for your customers, and then, ultimately it's just more autonomy for your team. We are, like I said, we are trying to build the scalable support system that we wish we had so that partners don't feel like they're just left hanging. We are trying, again, to emulate what Clearfly has done with their support team. When it comes to growing your business, the partner launchpad is where we are going to try to make your life easier and to make your business stronger. So from onboarding, certification, live training, your co-branded marketing, we are building a true partner-first ecosystem here. So you will get access to sales tools, competitive pricing, the support team that's available when you need them. So whether you are deploying your first client or maybe you're managing 50 tenants, the support is going to be the same across the board. It's going to be responsive, it's experienced, and when those tickets come in, I mean, our guys are on those very, very quickly. So this isn't just about giving you a product to sell. This is about helping you build and scale a recurring revenue stream that lasts. And hopefully, something that you'll be happy with because your customers are satisfied and they decide to stick around for the long haul because of it. So with all that being said, you might be thinking, okay, this is great. Everything up to this point sounds fantastic, but how does this actually work? So I want to break down the two core partnership models that we have. Both of these are really designed to meet you where you are to help you scale as you grow. So the first model that we have here is the shared multi-tenant model. So this is your fast track. It's you'll onboard the customers using our infrastructure. There's minimal setup. There's no hardware required. There's no upfront cost. All you need are 2 licenses per tenant to be able to go live. You can even, with this model, co-brand phones to deliver a more branded experience without managing your own environment. And so what this means is essentially that you can put your logo, your company name in the phone display, and that way it's always, front and center in front of your customers there. The second option is the your own server model. So this path is really built for partners who want full control and you're ready to build even more equity in your brand. So this option gives you a dedicated server. You have full white labeling capabilities, which includes custom domain, branded apps, your logo in the interface. There's more control in the admin portal, and it's truly a ownership experience that we're designing here so that you can go out and be able to really own those customers. The shared model, we do have to do a little bit of work on the back end at the beginning as you're spinning up a new tenant. So that's a little bit of the difference there. With the your own server model, the license pricing is discounted from day one versus the shared model. There is a monthly fee of $700 for the server, and you'll still see savings, right away, but the margins for that really starting to widen significantly around that 700 endpoint mark. The servers themselves, they're rated to support up to 5,000 endpoints, but we suggest capping that at around 3,000, just to make sure that you have enough bandwidth before you're spinning up a new server. The nice thing with this, though, is as your base continues to grow, as you're spinning up additional servers, there's no added server cost. It's just for that initial server that you spin up. So this means, deeper margins. It means better scalability without increasing your overhead. You still get everything included in that shared model, but you have more control. You have more brand visibility. It just really creates that long-term growth potential for you. So as you can see here, I think both paths present exciting options, but they are built to support different stages of readiness. You just simply need to choose a model that fits your business, and then we'll back you, every step of the way as you're moving forward there. Now, as you evaluate which model, actually, before I get into this section here, I do want to say, because I know this question is going to come up. Let me just go back a slide. I know this question is going to come up between the two. If I decide to start with the shared model and I want to move over to having my own server, what does that migration path look like? Is it seamless? Is there any work that needs to be done? And so the way that this ends up working out is you can get about 75% of the way there. You can use the export and import features to bring your customers' information from that shared server to your own server. But there is about a 25% work that you'll have to do as far as some reconfiguring for that customer. So that's just something to keep in mind as you're moving forward, to make sure that you are, choosing the model that is going to work best for you. If you have any more questions on that, feel free to, ask us once we get to the Q&A section here in just a minute. So as you're thinking about that, evaluating it, deciding which model might fit your business, it is worth looking at how flexible the deployments can be. So as mentioned, we support hundreds of certified devices across major hardware vendors. I mean, you can see them listed on the screen here. This includes your desk phones, includes your conference gear, common network equipment like the paging systems, your door access units. So if your clients already have some of this existing hardware, there's a very good chance that it's compatible and they'll just be able to bring it with them. What this ends up meaning is that you can have faster sales cycles, easier transitions. There's less resistance during the implementation process. You can scale down a little bit on the training that you have to do with the customers. Every supported model that we have here, it's tested, it's documented, and it is ready for the field. And one of the nice things about this is as new devices are certified, your options just continue to grow instead of shrink. And I think that, that assurance just makes it a little bit easier to stand behind what you're selling. And because of that, it's going to help close deals faster with, fewer surprises. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take a quick break away from the actual slide deck here. And I'm going to show you a little bit more about how you can learn about us and some of the different ways that you can get more information just regarding the product in general. So if you go to gransunpbx.com/Clearfly, hopefully you can see that on the screen there in the URL field, but gransunpbx.com/Clearfly. I am going to move this over. I'll just do this. All right. So most of what's on the site here so far is everything that we've kind of talked about. As we scroll down towards the bottom, this is really what we're going to focus on. We've got the about us, our journey and origins. We've already run through that. The support and knowledge base you can find here. To access the knowledge base, you do have to register. So you have to provide your name, email address, get registered, and then you can access the knowledge base. The training site, this is something that we'll get into during the kickoff call once we schedule that with you, and we'll discuss training. But essentially we need your name, email address, and then we will create login credentials and send those over. And then once that login credential has been created, you can then access the training site. But that's something we can get more into during our scheduled kickoff calls once we get there. License options, I am going to go through this real quick just so you can see. So with the license options, well, first of all, we're using Fanville as our base phones. Those are the phones that we've decided to move forward with. But once you come down to the different license options, this is just a quick overview of the different options available. If we scroll down a little bit further, this is just showing you, who we think those licenses work best for. And then if you go down even further, we have a feature matrix just showing, okay, these are the licenses. This is everything that comes with those particular licenses. So hopefully this ends up being handy as you are considering moving forward with us. And again, gransunpbx.com/Clearfly is how you can get here. This one right here is actually pretty exciting, the user agent device or endpoints. So I'm going to open this up. And what is really nice about this is this shows all the different brands that we're able to work with. And so you can see we've got a large number of very recognizable brands here. And if I just kind of pick on GranStream here, we've got the handsets listed. So they're all listed right here. Underneath that, we've got cordless. So here's the cordless phones. Underneath that, we've got ATAs. Here are the ATAs. And the nice thing about this particular page, and this page will be in the knowledge base, it's already there, so you don't necessarily have to come here once you're all signed up and everything. But this really should help you, with preliminary investigation and figuring out, how to move forward with us. Hopefully this will come in very handy for you. So I'm going to pick on this Fanville V65. This is one of the phones that we are using. And this manual here is basically your user guide for provisioning the phones to the servers, right? So each one of these devices that has that green check mark, there's some screenshots there, but each one of the devices that has the green check mark means that it has that provisioning guide listed. So it just makes it much easier to find the information that you need to get up and running as fast as possible. Now, this endpoint matrix PDF is also something that you will be interested in as well, I believe. So if you're using dynamic auto provisioning, which we highly suggest you do, you can use this, and it is going to show you how easy it is to get up and running with some of these. So these are the Yealink phones, and really what we're looking at here is we are looking at what is compatible as far as these different feature sets are concerned, right? So green is fully functional, red is not functional, star needs manual adjustment. Okay, and as we scroll through this, you'll be able to see in the list which of these devices are ready, most compatible, and it just hopefully makes it a lot easier as you're going through thinking about the different devices that you use normally. We got the Polycom. There are, Cisco, GranSun, there's quite a few GranSun phones at work. And then don't mind the scrolling. I'm going to get down to the Fanville so I can kind of discuss something with this since these are the phones that we're using. Where are they? Here they are. But one of the things that we could do here, so obviously, you can see what's working and what, might have some issues with the Red X. But one of the things I want to mention, so these are the phones that we're using. The V65 we're not really using anymore. We're using a 66 Pro instead. But the 66 Pro isn't listed. So what we've done is we're actually using the 65 profile to get that configured, and we have had zero issues with that. And we've tested that with a couple of the other phones as well. So just because the model isn't necessarily listed doesn't mean that you can't use it on the system. It's simply going in and finding the profile that's closest, using that to try to configure and see if that phone will work the same way. So if you have any questions on that, as you're getting into this, you can let us know. We can help you out with that. There are some that we have tested and we know for sure, like, no, we've done that and it works. So you can ask us and we can help you out with that. So that's all we are going to do with that site there. If I can get back over here to the main presentation, we'll continue on. And really, I hope that you can see that, there is a wide range of supported devices. And what this does, in my opinion, is that it opens it up for real opportunities for all the customers that you support across, the different systems that you have, the different vendors that you're working with, the different setups that you've created that aren't maybe necessarily designed to work together, right? So I hope that by seeing this, it excites you, it gets you to think about how you might be able to migrate your base from these disparate platforms that you might be using and be able to host them all under one roof. All right, so onboarding. When it comes to onboarding, our process here is designed to be fast. We want it to be hands-on, to be practical. Essentially, we want to get you up and running as fast as possible. So once you come on board, you will be assigned a dedicated partner enablement lead, which at this time is, woohoo, it's me. So you'll get to talk to me, and hopefully I won't be speaking at 100 miles an hour. But we'll walk through, system setup, portal access, deployments, how to get ready for your first sales, all that good stuff. You'll have access to the on-demand training, your guided walkthroughs for teams. We have client-ready collateral that you can use for your to help support your first sales, and that's different one-pagers, a pitch deck, flyers, brochures. And so it's really a co-branded experience that you get to utilize here. And this isn't designed to be the kind of onboarding where we're just going to hand you a PDF, wish you good luck, say, hey, thanks for joining, thanks for signing up. Now, go out and get them and have fun. We want this to be structured. We want this to be supported from the time that you initially sign up through your post-sale, because we want you to get live and confident as quickly as possible. We want you to be there in days, not in weeks. So we're really trying to make sure that this is set up to make, just be as streamlined as possible. So the next steps, what does the next steps look like? How do we move forward from here? So it is initially scheduling your kickoff call, and you can do this two different ways. You can either reach out to your Clearfly sales rep, and they can pass your information along, and then we'll get something scheduled to go through that kickoff call. Or you can reach out to us directly. I'm going to put our contact information up here in just a minute. I am moments away from finishing up with this. but we'll have our contact information there. The only thing that we ask is if you're going to send us an email, get in touch with us, just please CC your Clearfly sales representative so that they are aware that you're interested, that you're going through the process, and that will just help us as we're moving forward, make sure that if there's anything on Clearfly flies in that they need to address or take care of, that they're in the know, and it just makes it a little more seamless for everyone. So those are your two options to get the kickoff call going. Once the kickoff call is complete, what we will do is we'll go through the partner training. So like I said, we'll give you those credentials to log in. You'll need somebody to go through the sales and somebody to go through the technical support, get certified on that. You'll send us the certification. So you'll get like a PDF, document that you can just attach in an email and let us know that you completed the certification. And then once that's done, we notify Clearfly. That's a hard one to say. And then they unlock the ability for you to select GranSun in the marketplace. So we just need to make sure that you get certified first. Once that's done, we can schedule a portal tour. We'll kind of review some of the different areas that you'll need to be aware of. We can walk through the knowledge base, make sure you know how to navigate that. And then you'll just go through the normal process to create a quote in Clearfly. So that's essentially registering your first deal. So the quoting is all done in Clearfly. And then once that's finished, you're ready to launch your first sale with hopefully everything in place. So everything that you need to get started, it's already lined up. If you're ready to go, we are definitely ready to go. And we're going to walk you through whatever is coming next. So we just want you to know you're going to be in good hands. Now, we're going to go ahead, open it up for questions. Feel free to ask us anything from device compatibility, pricing, whatever it is that's on your mind. Go ahead and ask those questions. Let's get them all out there. I am going to leave the contact information here. So feel free to take a screenshot, write it down, whatever you want to do. And the last thing I'll just say is thank you again for taking the time to be here, for allowing us to present and to answer, some of the questions that I'm sure you have. And with that, let's just open it up. And Bodie, unmute because you're probably going to be talking, man.
Okay,
So
I have unmuted.
So if anybody has any questions, just feel free to unmute yourself. You should all be set up to ask questions. If you're bashful and you'd rather type out the question, feel free to either throw it in the chat or the question and answer section. And it looks like Tony's got a question. All you.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes,
Yep.
sir.
How would you configure a 64 analog extension to your system? So for example, I have a facility with 64 analog, one for each extension. They're not using SIP. So how would you, can you system handle that, or how does that work?
Yes, we normally would use like the GranStream ATA gateways.
Okay, okay. So back to the same thing, get the ATA gateway, and that's how it works. Got it. Okay,
Right.
thank you.
All right. This is Thomas. I have a question. Does this phone server has a feature for paging or intercom where one person could broadcast the message to all the phones through the speaker?
Yes.
Okay.
Michael posted a question in the webinar chat, and the question was pricing for the basic user seat. Does it include a mobile app and web phone?
It does in a way. The best way to put it is you're using it kind of like a trunk line, as in the advanced license has to be at least 25% of your licenses. And then that would cover everybody because you only have approximately 25% of people that are on the phone at one time. Did that make sense?
Michael?
What's the cost per seat then?
The cost per seat, your advanced license is a $750, your basic is $455.
And the advanced includes a web phone and a mobile app?
Yes.
Thank you.
Could I get that comparison sheet for basic, advanced, different license type or URL to look at?
That was going to be my question.
So both, how do I say this? With the advanced license, you get that mobile web. But with the basic, you essentially get it as well. But as Bodie was conveying, you want to get 25, 30%, wherever you feel in there, because what you end up doing is you provide the app for anyone and everyone. But much like the trunks, not everybody's going to be on the trunks at all times. No, not everybody's going to be on the mobile app. So you're treating them the same way as you would trunks. So if you had 10 advanced licenses and 30 phones, okay, 10 people can concurrently be on the mobile apps, but no more than 10. If they exceed the 10, they are only getting the 10. If they continuously exceed that, they would increase the number of advanced licenses to increase that number from that 33% to 40%. And you add a couple more advanced licenses and a few less basic licenses. Does that make sense?
So there's only call paths on the advanced licenses, and basic seats share that call path.
For the apps, yes.
The basic, they have call paths for trunking. I'm just using that word call path of concurrent sessions, if you will. Maybe that's a better word.
Yeah,
If you have advanced licenses of 10, you have 10 sessions of mobile app. So if you have 30 people, all 30 people can load that software app onto their cell phone and onto their tablet and onto their desktop. But with those 30 users using all three or 90 apps for all intents and purposes, you'll have the ability to have 10 concurrent sessions. Because you have 10 advanced licenses. It would not behoove anybody to get all advanced licenses unless that particular account had only desktop and mobile app and no physical phone. And even then, it wouldn't make sense. Just like you wouldn't have 10 trunks for 10 users, because there's no way you'd have 10 people on an outside call at any given time.
the only time you'd want all advanced licenses is if you need transcription for everybody. Because that is the only thing that is advanced licensing only.
It comes with it automatically, right?
Yes.
All right, there's another question that was posted to the web chat. How many endpoints per license?
It's normally around 5 is what we recommend. You can actually go more than that, but 5 is the recommendation at the most.
Okay. And Tony has another question. Tony, go ahead.
The server minimum is 750. Does that come any trunk at all?
No, the trunks are all coming from Clearfly. So you'd be
So-
building in the trunks like you would be the marketplace items, ClearConnection items.
So you had to pay for the server and the trunk on top of that.
Correct.
So I see that there's two server models. You have one that's owned with the 700 a month, and then you have the shared. So if we, for example, start with the shared, are we able to convert eventually based on scalability to the owned server?
Yes, there is a little bit of work that has to be done on our side and your side. When we're doing that, it's not just an easy move, if that makes sense, but we'll make it as easy as we can. Probably 75% goes over without a problem, but there is about 25% that you have to rebuild on the new server.
And then is that something that's billable for that transition?
No, that's part of our commitment to you guys to help you out on that.
Okay.
Is it
Was that 700 a one-time fee or a monthly
It's
fee?
monthly.
And okay, and then that's capable of to going, you said somewhere like 3,000 users.
We recommend that you do a minimum of 3,000, a maximum of 5,000 before you can go to another server.
So do you still kind of manage that server as a single entity, or do you still manage for multiple clients or customers?
Manage for multiple clients.
So what is the benefit of going to this platform versus the shared one then?
The main reason is you do have a lot more capability to manage the back end side of it a little bit more. There's some things that we just can't allow you guys into the shared server. It also gives you the capability of using your own domain, your own logos, your own look and feel for the apps as far as having your logos on them.
So on
and
the
colors.
shared server, what kind of logos? I mean, does it dedicated per customer, or is it still dedicated to the partner logos, or how does that?
Partner logos.
So in the server environment, are we in charge of the seat pricing at that point, or is there still the $750 for an advanced seat on top of the server charge?
There is a deduction on it. It's $1 off of every license for the seat charges. So that's why when you get to the 700 endpoints, that's where you're seeing the reduction in price.
So was there any discount for an annual payment versus going the 700 per month?
I'll have to give that some thought. We hadn't looked at that yet.
Just wondering, we pay a lot of ours annually.
Okay. Let me give that some thought, David.
Thank you.
That's essentially the only thing that would be paid directly from the partners to GranSun unless we make another change within the portal per code, but everything else is done through ClearConnection.
Right.
So you're functioning in that manner.
Did everybody see the URL for, I believe maybe it was Thomas and Nicole had asked for the URL again for the download of the phone or endpoint list.
Mhm.
It's in the webinar chat. If you want to look there, it's grandsunpbx.com /Clearfly.
Why am I not seeing that?
Valid SSL certificate error.
Oh, hold on. It's because it was posted to the host and the panelists only. Let me make that public. 1 second. Okay, you should now see it. If you look in the webinar chat,
Yeah,
Yeah, we see it now.
thank you.
you're welcome. Any other questions that Josiah and Bodie can answer, or any of the folks here at Clearfly?
Didn't think so.
Is there an option for us to have like a sample? What I mean is like, can I buy a couple of phones and test it out myself and see how it works, how it sounds, stuff like that?
So
Basically like a demo unit or something.
So you guys can use our test trunks at any time, and what Bodie said he was going to do was make available, test instances or test accounts, if you will, so that
Mhm.
you can get phones off your shelf that are there now, or buy new phones of any kind, really,
Mhm.
and just test it, okay? There's no cost to you from Bodie's end or clearly from Clearfly's end, so yes, you could do all the testing you want.
Where can we get the profile for the phone?
Bodie?
I'm
Uh,
sorry,
where
I
can-
didn't hear that.
Where can we get the profile for the phone?
The profile is basically on that website. As far
Oh,
as,
GranSun PBA, I mean, GranSunPBA.com/Clearfly.
yeah, and if you run down to the bottom, there's the link that goes out to the endpoints.
Mhm.
Use
Then you
the
just click on the phone and it should have the profile.
agent device endpoint.
I'm sorry, I'm having a hard time hearing you.
Is that user agent device endpoint, right?
It,
It's yeah. I'll show you. Let's scroll all the way down.
Okay.
yeah, I'm unmuted. Okay, sorry.
Yep.
Just checking to make sure I was unmuted. Yeah, if you scroll all the way down, this is the one you want, user agent device endpoints, you're correct. And when you go there, that is going to have the list, and you select the phone that you want to view. And then that's what you'll need.
How to provision it.
Yep.
Okay.
I would encourage you to go through the training before you start trying to play with it. There's no cost for that either. But then once you've gotten some training and a little feedback from GranSun, then going off and getting an account set up and playing with it by all means.
Okay. And we can do that just by sending an email, you said, and copy Clearfly on it to you.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
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 What was the email for the training again? Sorry.
Get rid of that.
Yes.
Yeah,
Sales
just,
at GranSun.
just send it to the sales at GranSun and then just, CC sales at Clearfly.
And we have to go through the training first in order to get the test user.
Is that required? Probably not. I
Okay.
would think that's a better option for everybody.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Okay.
And the
Okay.
demos are only 30 days long. So it's better to probably get the training done before you get started. That way you have a little bit more time. Because the training you can extend as long as you need it.
Okay, you mean
And-
like after the training, we can have the test as long as we need it, right?
For 30 days.
Oh, even
The-
though after the training.
That's correct. And so GranSun's demo account will mirror Clearfly's test trunk account. So, and
Mhm.
what I mean by that is both of them are 30 days.
And if you're done after,
Another
if-
question.
if you're
Sorry.
done after 10 days, just let us know so we can, pass that on to somebody else. If you need a little more time, I'm sure that's not gonna be a problem either.
Well, the thing is like, for example, this month we probably have no reason to use it. And if we sign up and test it out ourselves right now, so let's say this month we have no reason to use it, but in the next 2, 3, 4, 5 months later, then we say, okay, I need to use it. Then the time is already expired. You know what I mean? So it's not like we
Right, so if you're not going to use it, don't ask for that period of time, and then when you're ready for it, then you use it. The whole idea is it's taking up resources from Clearfly and GranSun, so if you're gonna use it, by all means. If you're not gonna use it, just let everybody know so it can be provisioned for somebody else, that's all.
okay. Okay, so meaning that when I'm ready to use, I can just send you an email, say, oh, I need to use for like a day or two, and then when I'm done, I email it back to you, and then you release it to someone else. That probably make more sense, because that way we can use it, throughout the year, whenever we need to.
Sure,
Right?
sure.
Yes.
Okay.
Another question, it's kind of posted. Is there 3CX migration past the grandstand?
I don't know if I've ever done a 3CX migration to it. It would be, I mean, you would have to basically get your tenant ready. And then when you're ready, if you own the phones that are on 3CX, you can then just do factory defaults on those and point them to the new provisioning server, and it should take place without a problem.
Okay.
Any other questions? All right. Well, thank you everyone for attending. And yeah, if you have questions or need more information, please reach out to, GranSun at sales@gransun.com, or their phone number shown on the screen, or any of the Clearfly sales folks. So Rob, Tina, Melissa, Charles, Chris, Vinny, or myself. All right.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thank
Thank
you, guys.
you.
Okay.
Thank you all.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.